Our own correspondent Shelby Wilder is live in Israel with the latest. Shelby.
Run. Run. Get down.
Well, we're going to keep in touch with them to make sure that they are safe, but I think it just helps illustrate just how dire things are over there currently running. We're going to probably break away from that and continue on with the show here. I want to bring our correspondent Shelby in, who had to flee there. You heard the alarms going on. Shelby, are you okay? Talk to us a little bit about what's happening here.
So, yeah, we just took cover. We're in outside, really, the Gaza Strip in the southern Israeli town of Sderot. And when you hear that siren, you've got about 5 or 7 seconds. That's artillery that you might be able to hear in the background. But there was a hit, and it was a missile that flew over us and has hit somewhere in this town. Yesterday, about 300 feet from where I am, another missile hit very near John Huddy, our reporter, and that landed in the yard of a kindergarten. But I want to just very briefly go into some updates here on the ground. As I mentioned, we're in southern Israel, in Sderot, which is less than 2 miles from the border with Gaza. Some parts of this city, really at the closest where we are right now, is barely half a mile from the Gaza Strip, which is actually behind us. And residents have been urged to evacuate Sderot after the October 7th terrorist attacks, which killed many civilians here. So now the city is relatively deserted except for members of the press and military. And again, we're up on a hill on a vantage point looking down at Gaza behind us. So as I mentioned, if sirens sound, we have to run for cover because we have less than 10 seconds to take shelter from incoming rocket attacks that are launched from the Gaza Strip. And yesterday, again, a rocket landed just across the road from where we're standing right now. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but John Huddy was reporting on camera. It might not be audible, but what we've been hearing is this constant bombardment. There is artillery, there has been airstrikes, all the sounds you expect to hear in an active combat zone. A spokesperson for the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, said that its troops have encircled Gaza City inside the Gaza Strip and that Israel's military has advanced significantly and is now in the heart of the ground operation, stepping up its bombardment in northern Gaza as Israel has vowed to annihilate Hamas and its command structure. U.S. officials said today that between 800,000 to 1 million people have moved to the south of Gaza after being told to flee by Israel's military. Even today, the IDF posted on social media urging residents to head south for safety, but some 350 to 400,000 people remain in the north, despite it now being a battleground. We heard Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu state that IDF troops were, quote, at the height of battle, end quote. We know that at least 24 Israeli soldiers have been killed in combat since Israel's ground invasion began, and the IDF said that its soldiers have been operating inside Gaza City, and the Israeli Engineer Corps are working to locate underground infrastructure and the threats presented to Israeli soldiers as they navigate the tunnels underneath Gaza. And just remember, underneath the Gaza Strip, there's a labyrinth of roughly 300 miles of elaborate tunnel systems. So engineering units from Israel's military have been working to demolish newly discovered tunnels, which have been used for hit-and-run attacks by Hamas on Israeli soldiers. So, catching my breath here after we literally ran and took cover behind a kind of mound of dirt. That's a brief summary on the situation at present. Obviously, a lot of moving parts. We're actually going to leave this location because we are lit up. And again, behind us is the Gaza Strip. And so, you know, rockets have continued to fire in this direction where there are members of the press. Now that it's dark, we're going to move deeper into Sderot to try and have a bit more cover as we do more hits throughout the night.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for all you're doing. Glad that you guys are safe. Get you guys out of there. But certainly, again, the region is heating up.